The men would come home and tell us stories. How freedom don't quite taste like it used to. Like razor blades and lemon juice shoved down sore throats.
How flight be the folly of man.
Black boys be burnt like Icarus.
How sunlight burn too good.
You may only get it for 1 hour a day. They tell us to not follow in their footsteps. These streets are not paved with gold. They call it a trap for a reason. We are bred like lab rats. Taught to chase cheese, but always seem to get stuck at the corner.
It's not that bad though. You learn a lot here.
Like how shuttle buses are too scared to come through our neighborhoods. Sort of like the American dream.
Like why we name our kids after things we can't afford.
Mercedes.
Alexis.
Hope. Justice. We learn more here than we did in class.
We never went anyway.
Learn how to stay mute. And dead. And broke. We are born statistics. And dare not be proud. There is no glory in survival.
No honor in hustle. These life goals is a life sold. Only this life knows what this life holds.
5 in the morning every day on the block. I stay slanging that Amistad rock. The men would come home and tell us stories
about how freedom don't taste quite like it used to.
I wish we knew better, had chances,
had more opportunities to fly. But black boys only get their wings in heaven.
And the only problem with that is
we gotta die first.
All right.
Let's go, Marty.
I first questioned my black God the day my grandmother's house burned down. She said it was a blessing she survived. Rubbed the ash on her skin like a newborn baptism, said to me, baby boy, everything will be all right. She's a holy woman. Much holier than I, went to church every Sunday, blessed meal after meal. She could pray her way out of any situation. You'd think her breath was a sermon on transparency. But the day my grandmother's house burned down, my faith found solace in the fire, realizing she too could burn, char, melts away as an unwilling sacrifice. Her back is wallpaper white children carve monologues into. Her arms can splinter and hunch like old wooden beams. Her legs like that one rusty doorknob can be forced to comply, she can hang. A chandelier too old to produce any light, but just right for decoration. Be it a living room or a poplar tree, there's no God I know. No black power I know to save her. I will sit in a church built atop my people's bones and pray to a God who does not love me, who thinks my shade is sinful. I will kneel to this white pastor who claims he can cleanse me, but I cannot swallow your porcelain Jesus. Your holy water looks foreign against my brown skin, but I'll take it. I'll take it. If it brings at least one blessing. If it puts the fire out.
As the next poet's coming to the stage, y'all make some noise for Bree B. They ain't done. I'm gonna be coming around passing the half of these you poets. Y'all tap the glass and put some in it. For the poets, thank y'all, I'm coming around.
Hi. This is awkward.
Hi.
It's me here. People treat me like I can't knit. He seems weird. That was sort of funny, and it rhymed, so it's cool, right? Like when those rappers spit bars about hot cars and money, and then they get famous and blow up like they were pop stars. I'm not weird, I'm just a nerd who uses immense words, yes, it's possibly absurd. And I know some of you are like, oh, but nerds are cool now, but no, there's only the hipster nerds who are not prescription glasses, even though they don't need it, and wear suspenders and plaid, whatever, so be it. But I mean, some nerds can be cool. I mean, I'm pretty cool, right, guys?
Yeah, you're cool.
I like playing some Candy Crush. I'm nerds like the small candies you crunch that are dandy for lunch. I like Amazing World of Gumball, Billy, Mandy, the 9th grade ninja, I believe his name is Randy. Without those shows, my TV would be a waste like a fanny pack. I'm fairly black, and maybe my skin tone should be lighter than Handy Mandy's. You see, if you were me, you would agree. If you're a black guy, then you're either a G or you're me. Do you remember earlier when I was spitting bars and there was fire? Well, I can't be a true narcissistic arsonist if my populace isn't hood and gunshots and projects aren't populating my oculus. Isn't that obvious? I mean, I could fake it. I could sag my pants until I was practically naked. Right now, I'm smart and know the essentials. As a matter of fact, I'd rather be hood with street credentials. It sucks having a nice life. All I want is some fight and strife. Now, I could always say that I ain't a nerd, but the only problem with that is that ain't isn't a word. I'm not going to replace ain't with is not, but that would have little effect because I is not a nerd isn't grammatically correct. So, heck, I mean, see, who would have the audacity to use the word oculus in a poem? But other than me, who really gives a hoot? I just want to be as radical as what makes a square root. Maybe my life is like a Disney movie. You know, where it's like two friends sarcastically makes jokes, which thematically lead to a predictable tragedy because you saw it in the trailer. But then there's that guy that's a failure. But then that one girl magically changes her whole mentality, and then eventuality gets with the failure boy solely because of his personality. So watch out, ladies, have the best looking personality in the universe. Or maybe that will never occur. I promise you, I'm not weird. I'm just a nerd.
White feminism is an edgeless witch with an appetite for other people's culture. Is a whitewashing of my womanhood. Is a boxer braid wrapped around my throat. White feminism is an Amy Poehler joke about urinating on little black girls. A Petra Collins white rebellion photo shoot. An auction off of black women's bodies where the highest bidders are the Kardashians. Thinks Homegirl and Hunty are better than saying my actual name. Says I should be grateful that she calls me anything. White feminism is black and brown women sweeping the floor after white women break glass ceilings. Tells me that women are the niggers of the world as if black women don't exist. As if we still aren't being called niggers. White feminism is me knowing that everything that's mine will be theirs for the bleaching. It's a white girl with dreadlocks saying that we should write a poem about our hair struggles. Wants me to allow her to bastardize my black girl magic so she can feel like she has conquered something with her ancestors. White feminism chooses not to see color. She chooses not to see my problems. She says, we are all sisters. We are all equal. But won't come looking for me if I go missing. Won't speak out if I'm slaughtered in the streets. She will wear my skin after I am already dead and call it vintage, call it urban chic. Say this is what's trending. White feminism is a white-owned sign at the women's rally. Never mentions that Susan B. Anthony was a racist because it seems irrelevant, as if many suffragettes never tried to suffocate black women out of the movement. So we still aren't being suffocated out of the movement. White feminism thinks self-hate is a compliment. So to convince me that white girls are evolving and that I should be scared, it's my body something that she can obtain. That she deserves it. And she knows what it is like to be born, knowing your beauty does not belong to you. Your ass is one more than the sight of you breathing. White feminism always looks envious. Always looks like the girls at my school with mouths full of my flesh. Always looks like white supremacy's flower crown clad sister. She will think this poem is anti-feminist. That it is a threat to her wall of privilege, but white feminism is a wall with no structure. And I am ready to knock her down.
All right.
The average heart beats about 80 beats per minute. A constant cadence of complex crimson coursing through body, weepy brown-skinned boomboxes. A ticking time tempo, this beat keeps us alive. My brother is different. His heart is a brilliant beating brown boy at the edge of the dance floor. My brother has a heart arrhythmia, causing his ribcage to shudder to the rhythm of over 100 beats per minute. My brother's heartbeat too live for his body. He is no human, just old-school hip-hop wrapped in flesh and bones. Sometimes you can catch him dancing in grocery store aisles, in parking lots, and cemeteries, as if to say, do you see me? Sometimes I tell him to tone it down, worried that someone will take offense in asking why he's dancing, as if he needs a reason. My brother dances like this is survival. He bends, but never breaks, popping and locking as if trying to animate a body that has been dead since birth, because don't you know black babies be stillborn at birth? Be dead men walking or dancing. My brother dances because this is survival, like he's blessing the ground that he walks on. Because in the beginning was the beat, and the beat was with God, and the beat was God. Like God said, let there be lit, crafted man from synthesizer and drum machine. You see, the black begat the boy, and the boy begat the beat, and the beat begat the break, and the break begat the blood. And the rhythmless God called it holy, called it him instead of hard, called it heaven instead of hell. This be scripture, the way black boys dance themselves to death. Have you ever heard the silence but after the beat drops? An angel feather whisper a gospel in a beat so braggadocious. Ain't it merciful? Have you ever heard the silence but after a black body drops? Like guilt so blatant as dried blood on pavement. Ain't it shameful? Don't you think it righteous? How Jordan Dunn was shot because the music was too loud, because the skin was too loud, because he refused to stop dancing. How could he, when this music be infectious? At the throb of that bass line, paralyzed and broke spine. They said Freddie Gray's death was a homicide, yet nobody killed him. I want to tell them that he was killed by the rhythm, split himself like he was a b-boy, and this was just a necessary break to keep up with the beat. And Alton Sterling wasn't just a man, he was a DJ, a dealer, slinging CDs to cure that itch, that illness, that throbbing, prescribed by Dr. Dre himself, like fuck the police is just another lyric to dance to, like some boy's last dance to the beat of bullets breaking bone and body, pumping heart, pump up the volume to cover up the noise of gunshots. There's no trace of a pulse, and the pulse of the music's too loud to hear over. My brother dances, this beat is to die for, to bleed for, to be seen for, and they love to see him dance. They command him, turn him into puppet, command him like wind up toy beat boy, break boy, cause black boy be robot, programmed for gunshot, and everybody's waiting for the bass to drop, or the beat to drop, or the boy to drop, or the blood to stop. And this is just how the song goes. And this is just rhythm. Like we won't ever stop dancing, even if it kills us.
A UFO lands behind me. They always come like this. Every time. Sirens that never stop. Blue and red lights engulf the car, seizing hold of the air around me, and suddenly my seatbelt gets tighter, like it's preparing me for what comes next. They do not come in peace. They never come in peace. I try to keep my nigga under control. Push the locks out of my face. Tighten both hands on the steering wheel. I remember my mother's words when she told me to pull into a populated area. That way, if they kill you, somebody gonna see it, as to say I won't die in vain. But I will still die. They will say it was my fault. Blame the weed in my system from 2 weeks ago. They will say it took that long to crystallize into meth or PCP. They will say my black was louder than their demands.
License and registration.
I know to give them what they asked for before they start to take everything that I am. I am sitting strapped in a gun range. If fear didn't trap my feet, I would run. On paper, it would look like I deserved it.
Are you lost, boy?
I literally lived 2 minutes away. Done played on these concrete caskets, tripped over shell casings and bodies and dirty shields.
You seem lost, boy.
How am I lost? As if he is not intruder, stranger, colonizer of black lives. So, maybe I am. Whatever gets me home alive. I know how much we all blend together in lineups, the usual suspects. I don't know what I did, or who I look like, or what he did.
What, you scared?
How can I not be? Every time I pull out my phone, I witness executions. I know your power, how badges turn men into gods or monsters. Seems like nobody can tell the difference anymore.
Do I scare you, boy?
The fear of God lives in these veins. Aware of the new unholy trinity, judge, jury, and executioner. Boys like me ain't worth much alive. Only good for your next shot.
Good. I can kill your nigga ass and still get my pension.
Now it is almost time for me to play my role. of 2 weeks paid vacation, and I told him to stay still. I wonder, they bring the car back to my mother, clean the brain off her windshield. I try to ignore the tear on my cheek. He smiles at it, runs his fingers through my locks like he's spinning a roulette wheel. We're both gambling on whether or not I make it home tonight.
Today's your lucky day, bro.
He leaves. I live. Go home to wash the bacon grease out of my scalp, and I don't stop trembling until I fall asleep. Death branded me as future recruit because it is impossible to have war without the bodies. Gunshots echo the sirens. Sunset drag nightmares behind them like they're looking for me, waiting for me. Every time I step outside, I see reapers patrolling my block, never knowing if they filled their quota, never knowing if they're still hungry.
My tongue would hold itself before I would ever admit I'm Middle Eastern. Assalamu alaikum, alaikum salam. The smoke from 9/11 still resides in my lungs. So my lips guard their words like caution tape to protect me from self-incrimination, since being Arab is almost always associated with crime. Like I speak to you in threat, with bomb residue on my fingertips, like I had fire jets behind the pronunciation of my mother's maiden name. Arabic words make you flinch, but halal food trucks make your mouth water. And I'll call you ignorant when Christians support a national ban on my people and swear they aren't holy, like swearing isn't a sin within itself. I tell them to remember Leviticus 19 verses 33 through 34. Love them like yourself, for you were foreigners in Egypt. Like Jesus didn't come to my waters to be baptized. Like the Jordan didn't snatch sin off his forehead. Same when the Crusaders tried to snatch Mecca. We rather ban Muslims than firearms. Like Islam, a religion of love is more lethal than bullets that search for a body to penetrate. And I'll call you ignorant because the only Arab name you know is Muhammad, and Muhammad is only important when he wears boxing gloves. But what about Muhammad that carries AK-47s against his body frame heavier than his own weight class? You remember Malala because she survived to tell her story. There are plenty of Malalas whose fingers never met pen, never met paper. You ask questions like, does her husband make her wear that? Like being a woman doesn't make us submissive enough. Americans feel more comfortable around white hoods than they do hijabs. Like a woman's modesty becomes her hiding Al-Qaeda in the creases of her clothing. But I tell you, Muslim women birth babies into bloodshed and almost always have to raise a soldier. So my poem isn't for the ignorant. It's for the kids who learn about puzzles by piecing their parents' dead bodies back together. For those who find themselves in the middle of Call of Duty without the controller. Who play I Spy through the bullet holes in their mother's chest, even though they can't hear me because their ears are still ringing. Their ears are still ringing. Because they're still dropping bombs where I'm from.
On the days in which my blackness be a burden, my body a casket, mahogany skin cultivated to hold dead things. When this land coughs up my blood and threatens to drown me with it. When the descendants of the devils who first stripped me of my tongue return to cut it out again. When they roam the streets wearing the same sheets my grandmother hung herself with. Something inside of me stirs, burns in my chest, like a furnace, like a cremated loved one. On those days I can feel my ancestors still fighting through my veins. Call the lump in my throat, just bodies clawing their way out of my stomach. The beating in my chest, the rhythm of war drums. When someone attempts to make welcome out of this body, my blood runs hot. Not in shame, but as if to say, have some respect for the dead. Some days I wonder if those with colonizer blood and tombstones for teeth know who walks amongst them. The way my footsteps mimic those who came before me. Know what I have seen. And maybe they are not white with privilege or with purity, but white with fear, with death, pale, ashen, bloodless. Maybe that is why they look at me like I am a ghost sometimes, as if to say, I thought you were dead. I want to tell them that when you are descended from death, you can never decay, only be rebirthed into something continuous. This body can't be contained by a cemetery. This body remembers the waters, remembers the whips, remembers the rotting. Everything that my blood has touched belongs to me. I am an artifact of ancestors, a relic of a race reincarnated for revenge. Stand in awe of the way my body becomes a marionette for martyrs to live through. To exist despite the efforts of those who wish to destroy you. It's revolutionary. It's some kind of divine. You see, God be a black woman, who was within me holy enough to resurrect, crafted in her image, stitched together from the living and the dead. A Frankenstein of freedom deferred, the best kind of black magic, the kind of stuff you don't fuck around with. This black be the creaking in the floorboards, be a midnight wind whistling through the trees, be the sounds of chains and lost souls screaming for retribution. Like a black body ain't really what goes bump in the night. Welcome, I got friends on the other side. Night of the living dead be a rally, be a protest, be an army of undead soldiers coming back for what is owed them. Everything that our blood has touched belongs to us. This is not a revolution, this is a haunting. The ancestors are coming back. We are coming back, and we won't be died for, or else.
Give it up, give it up, give it up, give it up. So, I just want to take a chance real quick to introduce our breathing team here. Starting from here, give it up for Gianna. Nakira. Maurice. Dax. Asha. And we'll give it up for Jordan Bailey. I was gonna cheat you. We are really proud of this team. We're still working out some kinks, but as you can see, really talented youth. Really talented youth. Bugsy, thank you so much for allowing us this opportunity. Everyone who either tapped the jar or was able to put something in the jar, because we understand how times are tight, thank you so much. You can show your support one more time for our Breathing Slam team.